What up, my peeps? It's day 13 of the fast. Hope all is still standing strong, being strong. Word of encouragement today comes out of Galatians 6:7. Whatsoever a man soweth, that too he will reap. So whatever you sow, that means anything and everything, whatsoever. Anything and everything you sow, expect to reap that in return. He didn't say only the good things. It doesn't say only the bad things. It says whatsoever. So I want you to take some time, think about what you're going to sow this year. Think about what you're going to put that in your prayer points for this fast. God, what would you have me sow this year? What would you have me sow at the end of this fast? I believe you should ask God. I believe you should sow a I believe you should sow a seed of faith financially at the end of this fast into, whatever. If you go to Restore and Hope Church of God in Spring City, Tennessee with us, then obviously I believe you should sow into that house. But if you're watching this and you have another home church or you're with another ministry, whatever, I mean, ask God where he would have you sow a financial seed this year that's just above and beyond your norm. And seek direction from God and seek location, seek amount, and sow that seed. Uh, but what we're talking about here in Galatians is not just about money and finances. It's everything you sow: your time, your kindness, your service. If you want to see God do something, if you want to see a quick turnaround during this fast, sometime this week, I would even say today, is find somebody, pray and ask God to show you something. It may not be money. It may be your time or kindness or showing love to somebody or even a service to someone or something. Ask God where he would have you sow it. You have to sow it into good ground. What is good ground around you that you could sow into something today, into something or someone. And do it. Do it today, do it this weekend, and expect a multiplied harvest from that. Write it down so you don't forget. I don't think it'll take you long to see. You may even see it before the fast is over. But sow something today or in the next couple of days and write it down, because your harvest is guaranteed. When you sow according to God, your harvest is guaranteed. So I declare all the time, I sow bountifully, therefore I reap bountifully. So sow into somebody's life. It may even be encouragement, and write it down. And always remember, if you sow a little, you reap a little. If you sow a lot, you reap a lot. If you sow sporadically, you're going to reap sporadically. If you want to see a pattern being formed, get in a pattern. If you just throw seed out there wherever, there's no crop lines. It's just some seed sows, some don't. But when you plant those rows of seeds, everything it's going to sprout in line. The seeds are going to multiply. in an order. So if you get in a habit of sowing, like I said, whatever, we're not only talking about money here, whatever God's called you to sow, if you get in a system and in a routine, you will start seeing it come back more and more steady and more in a routine. You might even almost get to the point to where you could predict when something's going to happen, when you're going to sow a seed. But take an action step today and sow into somebody else's life. And like we talked about the other day, you're going to see this time of fasting and prayer. Things are multiplied, things are sped up. You're going to have the answer faster than you normally would without fasting and prayer. And I'll leave you with Job 22:28. Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto you. Words create worlds. What are you decreeing? What are you speaking over your life? Your declarations over your life set the boundaries of your prosperity. And there again, when I say prosperity, I'm not only talking about finances. Your body prospers, your soul prospers, your spirit prospers, your bank account will prosper. You'll see growth and prosperity spiritually before you will anywhere else. There's going to be a spiritual growth, a spiritual peace before you see it in finances, even before you see it might be the health or the love or the joy you've sowed into somebody else's life. If you've been feeling down, easy to do during a fast because you're warring against your flesh, your spirit's warring against your flesh. If you're feeling down, sow joy into somebody else's life and see if it don't come back to you speedily. But remember, your declarations set the boundaries for your prosperity. So ask God to align your mouth with His promises. See, a lot of things we go through, a lot of things we encounter are because our mouth is not aligned up with our promises. We're speaking doubt, lack, poverty, and we're supposed to be speaking words of faith, power, increase. So the things you speak go out before you and create your world, create your boundaries. You know why Jesus was asleep in the boat when him and the disciples said, let's go to the other side? Does everybody know the story? You know, they set out sail. Jesus fell asleep. Storm came. Disciples panicked, woke Jesus up. Jesus rebuked the wind and the waves, and everything was calm. You know, people say, well, he was Jesus. He knew, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's why he went to sleep. That's why he was calm. No, he was calm and he went to sleep because the word was spoken. The living word spoke the words, let us go to the other side. He had done, decreed, and declared they were going to the other side. So he knew they wouldn't know storm, they wouldn't know well, they wouldn't know whatever gonna hinder them. The word was already spoken. So when they woke him up and that storm was there, well, he's like, well, you know, that's obviously demonic because that ain't supposed to be here. I've done spoken, we're going to the other side. So I'm going to rebuke this storm and we're going to carry on to the other side. A lot of times we get so focused on the storm, we forget to speak to it. We panic or we cower down to the devil, which has no power or authority over us. I think as Christians, sometimes we forget that. We're too focused on what we see with our natural eyes than what the Word of God says and what we're supposed to be seeing in the Spirit. We don't calm down and get quiet long enough to realize what's going on in the Spirit. Because He has called us everything we touch, everything we have our hands on, He says He will prosper. So don't get discouraged when you don't see it. You have to speak the word. Don't let doubt, don't let fear creep in. Just go ahead and rebuke it right then and carry on about your day. So, like I said, I encourage you, sow some sort of seed to someone today and speak. If you're in a tough situation right now, speak about it. If you need, find out what the Word of God says about it and speak the promises that God has promised you. The promises that's written in His Word. Speak those words over it today and watch it transform before your natural eyes. It's going to happen in the Spirit first. Everything is in the Spirit first. So speak it aloud. Sow good seeds. If you doubt a lot, if you fear a lot, if you worry a lot and you speak those things out of your mouth, stop it. That's all you can do is stop it. You have to change the way you're thinking. You have to change the words that are coming out of your mouth. So let 2026 be a transformed year for you, your family, your job, your business, your ministry. Start speaking life. Start speaking the promises that God has promised you. And watch this 2026 be the greatest year you've ever had. In Jesus' mighty name. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. This has encouraged me. I hope it encourages somebody else. Stay blessed. Like I said, we'll continue this. We'll keep going. What's today? Day 13 of the fast if I haven't said it. So stay strong. The end is near. We love you. Expect multiplication from the Lord.